Welcome to another edition of Strange New Pod. I'm your Fleet Admiral and host, Julian Brown. Oh, damn, you know what? You're all going to Starbase 80, even though you're the best bridge crew in the world. You're going to Starbase 80.
Yeah.
Enterprise uniforms everywhere.
Enterprise uniforms for everybody. Oh, man. Vice Admiral Eric is here back after a bad case of the 80. I mean, did your eyes turn green?
A little bit. Not as neon as I wanted it to.
Com badge on the fritz.
Yeah, com badge on the fritz. Absolutely. Sub Commander Giraffe is here. Isn't going to let slip that boy's called Mariner Mare Bear.
Bear. Oh, so cute.
I need my Mare Bear. And taking her station back for the evening is the one, the only Borg Queen of Puns, Brittany Tomes, who is definitely attending Freeman's Scatting Conference Battle.
Absolutely.
You know it. I know it. The people know it. It's awesome. Welcome back. How we doing, guys? Britt, what have you been up to? You're back.
Well, I'm back scattered again. Had to slide one in real quick. You know, we're all existing right now, but we're here to have a good time. I've just been doing some voice acting industry related things for the last while. I help get people footage for their animation reels. I work closely with voice actors as like personal assistants and stuff. So, and other than that, people have been on strike a lot. So not a lot of work out there, but we're hanging in there. We're going to audition. We're going to have a good time.
We're going to audition.
Awesome.
We're going to cancel our contract. Things that we get hired for.
Yeah. Like Eric and I were like, oh, we're going to do this project. And then we're like, struck company? Just kidding.
No.
We can't accept.
Oh,
So, you know, we've already made it. We've had to turn down roles.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, but that's cool though. You're doing your thing. You're doing what you wanted to do, and that's fucking awesome. And
Hell yeah.
I'm like happy for you. I'm proud of you. All that stuff. It is awesome.
Low
to have
pie
you
for
back.
everybody.
Yeah.
And I got rave spot.
Oh my god.
Whoa. I leaned the wrong way. Ah.
Did you get that? Is it Brad? Is it from Brad?
What's from
Who's
Brad?
the corn dog?
It's
guy?
from Chad.
Chad.
Chad,
I
the
knew it was
corn
a
dog.
D. There it is. Oh my god.
I wanted those corn dogs.
This episode is going to be off the hook.
I wanted that weird chunky stuff, actually. The chunky
I want to know
whatever
how
it
the
is.
chunks, the Starbase 80 famous chunky
Yeah.
sauce.
I thought that was going to save the day, and it didn't.
No, it didn't. Giraffe, I know where you and I have been the past couple days. We both went to this, and that was fun. You went in LA, and I went in New York. Brittany, you gave your ticket away, which was a super awesome thing to do. So thank you. Dana Pesco, one of our patron members, was able to go. She won the contest for that, and that was fun. You had the cooler experience. You got to go on the Paramount lot.
Oh yeah, I was a cool experience. Why? We didn't have Dave Mulgrew. No, it was on the Paramount lot, and it's always a beautiful place to go. They still own it, so go visit. I suppose.
Yeah, right. While they still own
we
it.
don't know for how long. Yeah, and thank you to the people who hooked me up with tickets. And also thank you to Abby. Happy birthday to Amy Imhoff. That's her birthday today. Happy birthday, girl.
Happy birthday, Amy. You freaking rock. It was good to see you, by the way, at the premiere.
Yeah, so connections. It was great. It took me 4 hours to drive to LA, and then I got to take a picture at the Paramount gate.
Nice.
Oh man,
It was awesome. And the more I go to this thing, the more people I know, and basically it's like just going with friends now. It's like, hey,
Yeah.
It was fantastic. I can't wait to rewatch it.
Nice. Yeah, I can't wait to rewatch it too. I know that they're still kind of putting the finishing touches on it, gonna get it ready for Blu-ray and everything as well. So if you're wondering where MC and Hawk are, well, they got stuck in the maintenance labyrinth, so I don't know when we're gonna see them again. Godspeed, guys.
Bats?
Watch out for the bats.
So
Watch
many
out for the
bats.
So if you haven't figured it out already, this week it's our review of Lower Decks episode 505. Oh, damn, Starbase 80. What happens when the Cerritos warp drive has to be taken offline, forcing the Cerritos to dreaded Starbase 80? Why is Mariner convinced there's a curse on the 80? And can Captain Freeman come to terms with the fact that her alternate alternate, I don't know how to call her, ran SB80? A lot of SB80 because we're on Starbase 80. How many times in this episode can I say Starbase 80? It's going to be a lot.
At least 80.
At least 80. Are the corn dogs good? Eric has the word on that. Does Giraffe have the high score in Romulan Galaga? We are going to break it all down. But first, while he has a mouthful of corn dog, Eric, we need to thank our amazing patron members at the Ready Room level and above. Please.
Gotta hydrate before I dihydrate. Thank you to Simon Steger, Jeff Reeve. Thanks to Simon Steger, Jeff Reeve, Mariah Gossett, Tallulah, Jen Stein, Tina Alexander, Joe Saporito, Noe Santo, Kung Hui, Takaka Nagumo, Fernando Nogales, SMK, Colin Davidson, Shatterhand 2049, Jesco, Michael Graham, Emily and Travis, Gildara, Maggie Light, Wayne Ritz, Scone of Arc, Sean, Jay Howard, Mahalani Uchiyama, Matt Harker, Joshua Lewis, Davey Willett, Tara Paulin, Slope74, Rude Parakeet, Joshua Miller, Aaron W., Carl Angoli, Michael Kwan, Caitlin, Elizabeth Dean, Jim McMahon, Sedano317, Pukahar, 35 Short, Cat Tip, Trippin' the Read Alert Over a Pineapple, Sean Manning, Asher CBF, Chris Waterman, RHCB, Martin Simpson, Norman Butchwald, David Prime Hildebrand, Taryn J. Robertson, Rod Griner, Eric the Red, Trouble, Jamie Roberts, Honeyberry, Taylor Pitt, and Brett Jones.
Woo, 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 woo. Y'all freaking rock. Thank you
Amazing.
so much. Yeah. And as always, a big thank you to our Badmirals, our executive producers. You make it so we don't have to ever wind up in Starbase 80. Simon Steger, Chris Waterman, Tara Poland, and Brett Jones. Also, before we move any further, I should say that one of our friends of the show and one of the animators on Lower Decks, Jean Kang, is in the chat, and she is reminding us to please support the Animation Guild's negotiations with AMPTP. Very important. They need a fair contract, just like actors, just like writers, just like everybody else. So support them. You could use the hashtag if you make posts about it. Stand with animation. Thank you, Jean, for putting that in there and reminding us all that that is happening right now.
I'm all about a strike. Let's go.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm
Games,
French.
animation,
It's my second
live
nature.
action, all of it. Exactly. We don't do it well enough here. We got to go
We
harder.
invented the concept, darling.
I say that all the time when there's a strike. I'm like, y'all, the French do it different. They threw a tub through somebody's window the one time.
We flip
Wow.
cars because
You flip
they're
cars,
here.
you light things
Cop
on
cars.
fire.
Cop cars.
Cop
Oh,
cars.
yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah.
I'm going to do some very brief news. We are very busy next week. MCI. I don't know what an MCI is. It is an MC with an added I. MC and I are going to be recording with the one and only New York Times bestselling author, Dr. Una McCormick. We are going to be talking about her brand new Strange New Worlds book, Asylum. So that'll probably be out for you on Wednesday. And then we are going live on Monday night. We are doing a Star Trek Generations look back 30 years old, which everybody has their moment when they're like, fuck, I'm old. And Star Trek Generations being 30, that's my moment.
Guess who else is 30?
Oh my god.
Babies.
Baby.
The Forever Ensign.
The Forever Ensign. Yeah, that made me go, God damn, that was the first Star Trek movie I saw in theaters. I was 8 years old. My God.
The worst French representation ever, Generation.
It's so true.
I hate that movie with the heat of 1,000 sun. Like,
we put out a Who Wants to Do This in the chat, and Giraffe just straight up did not answer. It's just like,
I didn't even see it, to be honest.
I'm not talking about that movie.
I would
Giraffe has
just,
it
like,
muted. The word
Yeah.
generations is just muted.
I would just be mean. So yeah, call me back
Fair.
for Nemesis.
Yeah, when is Nemesis turning? Well, that'll be a little bit till it turns an age. So I said that we're gonna have a couple of guests on that. I will announce who the final guests are gonna be this weekend sometime. But it'll be me, Hawk, and 2 guests. Unless
your
Eric,
Nema
you're coming
sisters,
too. I don't know if you're
tell your
coming
Nema
for that.
brothers
on
to
Monday.
watch.
Probably not.
Not for that
What
movie.
a week!
Nope.
What a week for Elorians, huh?
Right. What a week for Elorians indeed. Yeah, good point. Bonus pod, exclusive bonus pod for patrons. It is coming. I'm still 0 for 5, guys.
You're only 5? Only 5?
0 for 5. We had to
doing
take a
so
break.
much
We were
worse.
really busy this weekend. I'm 0 for 5. I have not saved the ship yet.
I've died so many times. So many times.
But we will be recording that soon. I hope. Anything else, Giraffe? Do you have any news? news?
Ooh,
No news. Oh,
I don't know.
Eric.
Yeah. So Star Trek Adventures 2.0 is out now, and the starter kit is coming out. And Dr. Aaron was talking about it on Blue Sky. So she actually was part of the writing team for it. So
Oh, that's sweet.
I've heard that book is a good read, like the new rule book, and just gorgeous. It makes me really want to learn how to play so we could do a campaign.
I really wish I didn't buy the first one, but it's good. You know.
Yeah, it was good while it lasted.
Yeah.
I don't think we have any other news. It's kind of a slow news week. Over the weekend, we kind of had some shitty news. We lost the legendary Tony Todd. Like, that's sad, but also like what a life, what a career that dude had. Star Trek legend, horror legend. Man. Oh, Tony Todd. We have a strange new loop. It's going to be fun. It's going to be really fun. So let's get to that. This is a pretty simple question, but I want your best answers. You've been transferred to Starbase 80. Why? Chat, let us know your answers as well. Raise your hands. Yeah.
Oh, I know.
Oh, go ahead. Hit it.
Because I gel with Chad so much over the corn dogs, so it just felt like the perfect mix.
So you
Hashtag too
didn't get
corny.
transferred. You just decided to stay.
Oh no, I transferred myself there for the corn dogs. Screw the replicator poop food. It's fine.
They probably have good ice cream on Starbase 82.
I
Maybe
ran
not.
I ran some black market. Most probably.
On the
You
promenade.
definitely were like,
Romulan ale.
I know a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy. Nobody speaks the same language. I was like in between. I just put people in contact, and then suddenly it's my fault, and I feel like something like this.
That guy's
Giving
corn.
Bad.
The guy's
Giving
Yeah.
Melissa Shemeni on Abbott.
So just like,
that's on
You know.
point for you.
yeah. And my name showed up in too many stories here and there, and they were like, yeah, no.
Like, this is sus. It all comes back to giraffe. For me, it'll be drop kicking too many people because of leg day.
Luckily, there are lots of stairs.
There's a
Lots
lot
of
of
stairs.
kicking in this episode. A lot of
A
round kicks.
lot of roundhouse
Yeah, I loved
kicks.
it. A lot of roundhouses. Especially the last one to Boimler.
Yeah, I was like, sorry, boys. So good.
So good.
I got caught running a holodeck program where
Ooh.
I just infinitely had the airlock button for Tuvix,
Oh my
and
god.
and I got caught. And they were like, "That's dark, man."
I thought you were
Starbase
going to
80
be
with
like
you.
80 Mark Twains.
Where I
endless
do declare,
twins.
Tuvix, you are out the airlock, sir. Goodbye.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I don't know if I could really do the Twain voice that well. Yeah,
It solves conflict, though.
Sometimes.
50-50.
In the chat, Beeflo made, that's Simon. Delta Shift got to my files and reassigned me. Yeah, Delta Shift are a bunch of assholes. That tracks.
They would.
Didn't purge the holodeck history. That's why.
Yeah. Or they had to clean it out.
Yeah.
They held some grudges. Remember when that was one of their jobs?
The holiday, yeah, right. The holodeck, dude.
Plus side to their promotion.
Yeah. But Mariner was like, dude, give me holodeck training, like removal duty. Like, I'll do that and not go on Starbase 80.
True.
Tara wrote, I said Moopsie one too many times. Dude, yeah, you say it too many times. Moopsie's
The
going to
girl
manifest
who
and kill
cried
everybody.
Moopsie.
Well,
Yeah.
if you look in a mirror and say Moopsie 3 times, the bones immediately leave your body.
Ooh, dark.
Just
I
a
like
fact.
It. Yeah.
Diet trick.
Dietary.
Oh my god.
I weigh less with no bones.
Felix Dax in the chat room just listened to your OG Nemesis review today, by the way.
Oh, boy. That was a
Felix
long time
Dax is
ago.
one of our newer listeners, but has decided to go back through our entire catalog. And I asked like what their experience has been of our older episodes. So I'm curious because I don't remember. I know that we did it. I just don't remember how it went.
Dax remembers my voice vividly. That's how far back Dax
I
is
don't
going.
even remember if I was on that one.
I think you were.
I was on Nemesis.
I think you were. You were definitely on Nemesis. That was
Yeah.
that was back
That
in
was-
the day.
Yeah.
That was OG.
And I remember saying that I didn't like certain parts of it. I was like, this is uncomfy.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
That was
That's
definitely a
uncomfy.
conversation.
Yep. Good times.
Not a lot of why you got transferred to Starbase 80 in the chats. I think people are afraid to share their darkest and deepest things.
Boimlers,
They just know that it can
all of
happen to
them.
anyone.
Boimlers, all
Anyone,
of them, right?
anywhere, for anything.
Yep. Oh man. So I guess that's it for the Stranger Loop, which means we are just talking about Starbase 80. Let's go. Our order tonight will go Brittany. Oh, and I didn't take out the other names yet. Brittany, Giraffe, Eric, then myself. And it doesn't get old saying this. Oh, damn, Starbase 80. So on the way to Casperia Prime, the navigation processors on the Cerritos, they keep spitting out. The dolphins are getting electrocuted. It's no good for anybody. And random coordinates just, keep popping up, but it's no good. So that forces Captain Freeman to divert to everyone all at once.
Starbase
80. We almost did it, and Eric just didn't.
Nope.
Remember when we ran the parody account for Starbase 80 before it became like a big thing in the fandom?
We did a couple little audio dramas too. That was
Yeah.
fun. Yeah.
And now it's a real thing.
And now it's a real thing.
That was like before it was a real thing in the show.
It was. Yeah. It was like that little mention of it.
Yeah,
It was
they
that
just went,
little
"Oh damn,
mention.
Starbase 80," and we're like, "We got to make a story for this."
Yeah. That was
Do we
epic.
still own the handle?
We still own on fucking X though. At
Well, nobody can
Starbase
copy us.
_80. I haven't
Mike
created one
McMahon, pay us.
Yeah.
We will
release the
sell you the
handle.
Starbase 80 handle.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
Paramount, give us that money.
Yep.
So obviously it's in the episode title, but how do you feel knowing that we were finally stepping on board the infamous SB80, Brittany?
Well, dive deep into the decontamination goo with me, friends. Double layer. Because for me, this is the best episode for me to return on because, like I said, it was one of those small things, which is like the amazing thing about Star Trek Lower Decks. It's all those like little references, whether they're deep cuts to like episodes throughout every series, or it's their own little piece of lore that they throw in that now every show has to acknowledge. And Starbase 80 was one of those ones where we're like, we have to know. Like it's like when something random happens in a D&D session, you're like, there has to be a whole nother one shot just to explore this one thing, like eventually. So for Starbase 80, which I know has shown up earlier in the show when Mariner obviously had to go there, and then the references to Captain Freeman also being sent there. But I just love it. I love having to see it, to be in the filth, to understand the truly cursed nature of Starbase 80, get in a way how it's a second chance for everyone.
Hey, love
And this is my second chance as a guest.
Hey!
Coming back with a new lens. It's a full circle. I love it. It was so silly. It was like a horror episode. It was so goofy. I love the show. Like, I don't think there's any episode of the show I can say I don't enjoy to some extent. Everything has gotten like, except for that one. I just thought of it.
The peanut hamper?
No, not peanut hamper. What was
episode.
it? The one with what were the things with the horns?
The things
It was
with
like
the
so
horn.
many seasons ago.
The things with the
Things
horns.
with
I
The
just remembered it.
horns?
It was one of those episodes where I think maybe we give it like a 5 out of 10, but everything else has been like stars across the board.
Damn, 5 out of 10. for
When do we
Lower
get
Decks.
a lower
Oh,
deck?
remember?
thing?
Do you remember those creatures that had like those horns?
Oh, and they were.
Oh, was it the Jukmani?
No, it started with
No.
like, it
They're-
was like an
They
antler
were,
or
they were like the.
Oh, the Mugatu episode.
Yeah. I remember we were all like, "What the fuck just happened?"
It was, yeah, I
love the
do.
Mugato episode. What are we talking about?
I thought that was the only weird episode we've ever dealt with where we're like, "This isn't a 10 out of 10 in my book." This show is always.
I feel like
It's
Peanut
because you
Hamper's
guys
the only
don't
one
like
that.
watching. Yeah.
Yeah, you missed the Peanut Hamper episode.
No, Peanut Hamper's weird bird thing. Like,
Did it for you?
I wasn't on
Sure?
the what's it called?
Mugatu?
No, the
Mugato.
Peanut Hamper?
Nemesis.
Nemesis.
Oh, you looked it up.
No, Felix
was
just
on
said it.
it?
Oh,
Who was on
damn.
it? Was I on it?
I don't know if you
think
were
it
on
was
it. That was
before
like
my time.
early,
It was
early
really
days.
early.
The delay with the
Yeah.
chat is just a little bit too much, so we're just like,
Yeah.
oh.
Anyway,
In the-
I love Starbase 80. That's all I'm saying.
I love Starbase 80 too. In the chat, Jim McMahon wrote, and I think they could have spent a couple hundred years going to Deep Space Six instead. That was actually going to be my
I
intro
thought about that.
for MC, like wondering, like what would DS6 look like in 400 years? Like,
I
would
want
like to know.
to see DS6.
Yeah, agreed. Draft, how did you feel about finally knowing we were going to Starbase 80?
I feel that you they should have just called for another ship.
Yeah, right.
Do you
They don't always think.
you're lost in the middle of the ocean and like the only place you can like go is that dingy like old platform where they're only dudes. You're like, I'm gonna radio somebody. I'm good.
Isn't that what Mariner said though? Let's just put out a distress.
Yeah.
And she was like, let's just float for 800 years.
And like wait for somebody to show up at warp. They'll be here in 10 hours. That's fine. Like, I feel it's hilarious how the fandom like latches on like a sentence in an episode.
Yeah.
And how Lower Decks has been always like, betcha.
Well, that was
We're
like
doing
in the
this.
first season where Mariner just ran by and was like, move, Jennifer. And then Jennifer becomes like her love
A
interest.
full thing.
You know what I
right?
mean? Like a whole ass character.
And I love Lower Decks for that, like, because I feel the fans too, and like, oh, we can actually scratch the itch. We can actually make a full episode about that random.
And it's not a
thing
good itch,
people-
it's a poison ivy itch. Where you're like, Starbase 80 is spreading. It is intoxicating us all.
and yeah, I was happy to see Starbase 80. I have to say that I absolutely lost my mind at Nicole Byers. I was like,
Nailed it.
like the same way I lost my mind when it was Janelle James. I was like, Principal
Yes.
Eva?
Yes.
So yeah, I was super happy that we got to see Starbase 80, and as usual on Lower Decks, they're gonna surprise you. There's gonna be a turn in a turn in a turn, and I was nice. Love the arcade.
I want
It
to go
was
to that
wholesome.
arcade. I want to sit in the captain's chair game. And yeah, fail miserably. Eric, what do you think about going to Starbase 80?
Question for you guys: Did they mention this in the trailers going up to this season?
Yes.
Did they?
No, they didn't. We could see Starbase 80 like kind of written, like we guessed it was.
We guessed it was
written
Starbase 80 from the
SB80.
decon chamber.
Yeah, because there's like piece of an 80, and so we were like, that's Starbase 80, and
Yeah.
One day I'll watch
Yes.
the trailer when the season's done. But you know when you think of something so legendary and then you finally see it and you're like, that's disappointing.
Yeah.
So when I heard that they were going there, I was like, oh, I hope they nail the landing. Like, cause you build up these legends, like they're like, oh my God, this is so terrible. You sort of like build what you think that Starbase 80 is going to be. And you know what? They didn't disappoint. So I was a little weary at first because I was like, oh man, I hope it's as good as what we all have been thinking.
You mean they didn't
those years.
disappoint enough?
No, they didn't. They didn't.
The right amount of disappointment.
There's the right amount. The gravity definitely set the bar at the right level, like upside down. But
Yeah.
but yeah, I thought it was amazing. Like I thought it was really telling that Mariner would have been just fine, wandering for years and years instead of going there. Like that really set the bar, especially when you see her at the beginning and she's all getting her geek on and she's just
my
like,
God, yeah.
you know what? I'm totally perfect as this new level of me. And then we go back to this point of her life when she's like, well, this is when she was like the fuck up level was high, even though it wasn't her fault.
Yeah.
I love the yell that she does before, like when she knows they're going there, and she's just like, no, and it goes on forever. And
You can do that
hear
the whole way
you can
there?
hear Tommy's like voice do that thing where like you're yelling for long enough that it's like, and I was like,
It's running out of
she must
air.
have had so much fun doing that. I wonder if she just like did that sort of take in the booth, and they were like, that's it, just keep screaming, and we're gonna use that one.
I was hoping that it would have continued after the opening credits,
Yes.
just a little bit. But
Because Ransom
yeah.
was like, are you gonna do this the whole way? And she's like,
Hey,
so good.
Eric, just real quick, I'm going to make a note of this in my edits. How behind is the chat?
yeah,
It seems
because
like
the chat
it's
is like,
I have no
slightly
idea.
Behind. Yeah, it
Yeah.
seems like they're like a couple of minutes behind. Unless
Are
people
they-
started, people maybe like paused and came back.
are they
don't know.
like
Oh, they're
not
just
live?
now talking about Mugatos?
Yeah, guys, like click on the live button and
Yeah,
Okay.
click on live on YouTube because I feel like everybody's a little bit behind.
Let me see
click
what
on the
my
red.
yeah, I don't know.
But we'll
Should
see.
I tap dance until they catch up?
Tap dance, do it. No, it's fine.
Play the vibes?
So you asked the question about how far. Oh, they heard me ask the question about how far behind we are. So okay, so some people are live. So by the way, Brittany, what you just said, I have to give a quick shout out to Tawny Newsom and Eugene Cordero because they were at Secaucus at New Jersey Creation this past weekend, and they decided to do a show at the brand new Second City location in Brooklyn, and I went and saw their improv show, and they fucking killed it. I was nonstop laughing for an hour and a half. So bravo. Those two are just
they seem like
geniuses.
The funniest people alive, and you can just tell by the way they like say the thing, their characters' lines.
Yeah,
like,
no, they really are.
You definitely did this in a booth, and people were like, "Absolutely, we're keeping this in."
Yeah, 100%.
Just because you said it this way, this is now how we're doing this.
We're about 6 seconds ahead.
Oh, okay, cool. So that's people might just not have hit the live button.
Damn, guys, we're in the future. Let's go.
Much like Eric and Brittany mentioned that, like we had the Starbase 80 account. Like when I knew we were finally going here, like when we got our screeners, and the name of the episode was literally Starbase 80. I'm like, oh man, like we had fun with Starbase 80. Like we had like the whole Discord collective make fucking like Starbase 80 jokes, and we did the audio things. Like I have high expectations. And I definitely did have my own idea of what Starbase 80 looked like, and it's not what Starbase 80 looks like in this episode. But what they did is so freaking genius. Like it's so good. Like I imagine it was still a pretty much like working Starbase. It just was not a fun place to be, but this was even worse. It is dingy. It is run down. Someone said it in the chat. It was state of the art in the 2260s. And now it's just not. It was so.
Have you been to a military base? Because
They don't get updated. I went to a wedding on a military base. Yeah, like
Starbase 80 has to smell like stale corn dogs.
Yeah,
No, they eat those.
That's true. They eat that.
true, they
It smells
do.
like the stale whatever the other gooey
the sauce.
sauce was.
The only thing that would have made it better is if there was like a crashed NX-01 like in the hall, like just sitting there.
Yeah.
That would be really funny.
Just not
No one could
moving.
take it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, no one's even repairing it.
No, but I really liked it. It's like I'd love to go to Deep Space Nine, but fuck, I'd love to go to Starbase 80. I'd go. I wouldn't go arcade. I wouldn't go promenade. I would go. Take me to that maintenance labyrinth. Let's go. I'm gonna make my way through. I'm
gonna make a name for myself.
Yeah, goddamn freaking bat. So as we move on, Mariner is dead set about not stepping foot on SB80 ever again and asks her mom not to send her over. But she makes her do this anyway. Thoughts on this decision, Brittany?
It's for character growth, baby. One thing I love about this season also, and I think, it's the beginning of this episode, because I binge watched so many guys you don't even know, is like Mariner, like all the characters or the main cast have had so much growth, right? And even Mariner and Boimler have spent so much time together that they also have taken on different parts of their personalities. So like Boimler has like gained an edge to him where he's more confident and is willing to do things that are outside of the rules to do the right thing. And Mariner's learning to like be okay with actually following the rules of being in command and like being assured of herself that way. So like it has to happen, because if she was sent to Starbase 80 and it is one of those like darkest moments for her, or the lowest points, like to quote Avatar, it's when you're open to the biggest change. When you're at your lowest point, you're open to the biggest change. So that's just how it's got to be. Plus, it's just funny. You throw somebody into a circumstance and you know they don't want to be back in. It's just funny as shit. So like a parent would absolutely do that to you.
That's true. Yeah. Fair.
Why not?
Yeah. Giraffe?
I think it's kind of hilarious because Mariner has been on DS9. And I'm like, come on. Like, I don't know that Starbase 80 is like way worse than DS9 if you look at the situation. Like, I mean, like food vendors and, Cardassian eyesore. Like, I'm like, but I feel it's always about your agency, and she had no agency going to Starbase 80 the first time.
Yeah.
It was not her choice. She did not want to go there. She was hurt. She was left alone. She was abandoned. She was literally marooned on that place. And when you're somewhere against your will, it's the worst place on earth. For sure. When you go because it's your choice, then you'll find thing like Cassian Knox is saying, like, it's second chances. It's people who are weirdos, but we're all weirdos. And I feel that it's good that Mariner goes back and is able to, get back her agency basically and go there and actually be there for a reason and do something. I feel she's getting back some of her history and rewriting some of her history. The fact that Captain Freeman is just like, no, you're coming. Like, not even thinking, yo, your daughter, like, she's a bit traumatized by the last time she's been there. Because Captain Freeman, and I mean, we see it so much with that character, like, she wants things. She wants to make a name for herself. And for her, Starbase 80 is about her parallel universe person, right? And she doesn't really click that her daughter, like, for her, it is actually really hard. Like, I totally get Mariner. I would not want to go back.
Yep.
But yeah, as Brittany said, growth.
Look, I was recently stuck in Pittsburgh for a bit. I get it.
Hey.
Fine in general is fine. I'm just making a reference. It was a joke. No, when you're like traveling somewhere and then you're like in a certain place longer than you need to be.
Yep.
And then it gets weird because it's also like not really a liminal space because you acknowledge other people live there, but you're also like, I need to be home now.
Yeah.
That's Starbase 80.
I like it. Nice.
Nah, everybody was nice in Pittsburgh. Don't worry.
I've never been to Pittsburgh. I
I
want to go.
like Pittsburgh. Stop this.
They got. I was actually in a town outside of Pittsburgh, which was pretty boring.
She was in a town outside of Pittsburgh called Britsburg.
You wish. No, it was all right though.
Yeah. Eric.
Agreed with everyone so far, but I also feel like Freeman was also trying to. This was sort of like a way for her to apologize. Like she's going to go there with her and sort of live through this experience with her, or at least that was part of it. Even though most of it was her trying to figure out her parallel self, why she was over there. But yeah, growth.
Growth.
You all watch Insecure, right?
No.
Yes, I love Insecure so much.
I haven't either.
See, that's why I need bread.
Listen. I still think about that ending to that show. I still think of the ending of that show all the time. That's what it is. And also the baby part. Yeet.
So,
oh man,
I'm gonna take growth and say that growth goes both ways a little bit here, and I think that. Yeah, I mean, this episode's nowhere near as fun if Mariner doesn't go on SP80, right? But like, let's just like look at it from, like we always do on this show. Like, I think knowing what Freeman did to her daughter, like the false accusations, sending her away, like it would have also been growth on her part to kind of respect her wish not to go because it was trauma and it was pretty much, I think, Mariner's lowest point of not only her life but her career. And I think like a little bit of like, okay, I get it. Sit this one out. I'll go. Because it's Freeman who's projecting kind of her fears about the fact that her alternate got sent, right? Mm-hmm. So she's like, if I'm going, you're going. And she didn't really think about how Beckett was really feeling in the moment. So I'm a little bit like, I wish there was maybe a bit of a conversation there. But yeah, but then we wouldn't have had like, Mariner doing roundhouse kicks and talking about the Starbase 80 curse.
And she's also a parent. So like, when your kid are like, oh, I wanna go.
Yeah, and then you're like, you're going.
Shut up, you're going.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm
I
not
do this
turning
every
this
week
car
with my
around.
daughter with dance. Like, no, you're going to fucking dance. I'm paying for you to go to dance. You're going to dance.
School.
You do
Go to
not
school.
want me to turn that car around.
We literally can't turn the Cerritos around. You're going.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm dedicating 60 seconds of this pod to the Enterprise Decon gel. Go.
Yes.
Who wants to talk about the gel?
I mean, there was a T'Pol joke like straight away, which was amazing.
The death stare that Mariner gives Boimler when he says, I'm a straight up T'Pol.
Yep.
Is just brilliant.
I love it. I love that Ransom has to really lay it on thick for some reason. He's like, the Ransom way.
I
that's just so good.
I like that the animation. if you watch Enterprise and you watch these decon scenes, they're always like a little blurry, like they're a little sexy. And they sort of did that in the animation, which I thought was hilarious.
I just want to advocate one more time to bring back to Paul in Strange New Worlds.
Yeah.
She must be still alive. Come
100%.
on.
Completely agree.
Come on.
It is a great way to bring her back. She showed up at Star Trek Day a couple of years ago. That says to me she wants to be a part of the franchise again. It's right there, Akiva, but you keep on filming seasons before you get feedback. I'm looking you in the eye right now. You. Yeah.
I feel the eye contact.
You should.
It's too much.
I had to look away.
Too much. So on board Starbase 80, we're introduced to Cassia Knox, voiced by the legendary Nicole Byer. By the way, not just all the different shows she's on, but if you listen to NPR and Wait, Don't Tell Me, she's on that a lot and is fantastic. Got to see her live actually at the Mann Center in Philly. She's amazing. Who thinks the Cerritos is there to like repair the base, right? She's like, oh, you guys are here. You're here to help.
Finally, Starfleet has brought reinforcements.
No, not the case. What do we think about her intro and getting to see like finally that 2260 era style of base being introduced to Chad the corn dog guy, and just her intro. I thought it was pretty cool. Brittany.
She's exactly the person that Starbase 80 needs, like in general, to be like helping and running it, because my gosh, she's not like toxic positive, but it was just kind of like, well, we are what we are. Let's go with it. I really liked her dynamic with Mariner, especially, but I don't know. She just kind of carried it. Like the minute you meet her, you're like, yep, this checks out. You would absolutely run the space and you know what you're doing. Chad, the corn dog guy. I mean, listen, this is another classic Lower Decks thing where we're like, you know what? I would watch a spin-off episode about Chad, the corn dog guy. Like, tell me, how do you get to be the corn dog guy of Starbase 80? I'm ready for it.
Jim Kirk put in a good recommendation because he likes hot dogs.
Yeah,
so,
I love the retro bad style. Because the thing is, like, they're always talking about like retrofitting, starships, or like when you watch Strange New Worlds or other series where it's like older, you're like, oh, this is fun because it's older. But then this is old and outdated older. This is like not fun older. So I think that is like a really interesting thing, especially since like they're like the Cerritos is, kind of an older ship. Like people don't care about our class as much, but you're like, no, people have forgotten about Starbase 80. They don't even want to go there.
We're literally on the roof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like everything is rusted.
Yeah.
And don't lick the walls.
Don't lick the walls.
Probably why
guys.
they're so rusty. They probably have waves of this random shit happening where people just lick the walls.
Oh man, just gross.
Minerals.
Hey,
yeah.
Creates a good immune system. Giraffe, what did you think about Cassia and the 2260s aesthetic of SB80?
This is gonna make me buy a Enterprise uniform. Because I'm not making this. Like, this is ridiculous.
No.
But I am so happy that Lord X are bringing all these cool people into Trek. I was talking about Janelle James and like now Nicole Byers. I was like, oh my God, Nicole Byers. And I don't know, somebody like bring them to a con or like something. I don't know. I just think it would be so much more fun. I want to say my little Nicole Byer story. The first time I did a panel at Comic-Con, she was on the panel just after me with Sashir Zamata. Way back when. It was like 4 years ago, 3 years ago, I don't remember.
Perfection.
This is Nicole Byers from Nailed It, because this was the only thing I knew her from, the cake stuff. But yeah, they both have a podcast together, which is
it's
hilarious.
so funny.
And Sasha Zamata plays in Agatha All Along. She's Jan, the potion witch. So I'm glad that she's part of Star Trek. And I think she has such an iconic voice, and also she gives so much like positive energy for whatever she says.
Always,
like anything and everything she's
even
in.
the most deprecating shit. Sometimes you're just like, how are you talking like this?
Yeah, and you're
like it's like she always has that smile on. Where you're like, what the fuck are you even saying?
incredible actress. I'm so happy she's back of Star. She's part of Star Trek now. And Cassia Knox is again such a funny character. Exactly. And I know it's one off like they did for the Betazoid agents. You have like these characters that are just in 20 minutes of episode, and they have a backstory, a story, a character, a presence, an alchemy with the cast, and you're just like, what? And then it's gone, and it's beautiful. But yeah, great character design.
Yeah.
Love it.
And
Beefalo
comfy
writes,
cosplay.
yeah,
Yeah,
comfy
right?
cosplay for sure. Can't argue with a jumpsuit.
One little jumpsuit.
Beefalo writes, the walls taste like corn dog too, probably, which is why they lick them. It's all the corn dog grease. So, you know,
Maybe in that one room.
maybe in that one room, or maybe
But now it's
people
on the
just
ceiling, right? It's
oh,
gonna drip down occasionally and just stick out their tongue.
yep.
Ew.
Listen, it's my Starbase 80.
Eric.
As soon as she came on with that Enterprise uniform, I was sold. And then I heard her speak, and I was like, "Oh my god, Nicole Byers is perfect for this role." She had that energy. Like, remember when she was on The Good Place and she was like in charge of like that little part of heaven?
Yep.
I was like, she could make any place like that the best place, and it made me so happy. Like immediately, like just listening to her talk and like seeing her character and how much energy she is. Britt's right. Like she was the right person to lead this station. And it like just from the intro, I was like, I want a Starbase 80s like spinoff. Just give it to me right now. I would watch a whole series about Starbase 80. And people
I would like to watch them learn and grow and become a better Starbase.
Yeah.
Don't you think? For me, it was like between this episode and the Nanite Hotel. I'm like, is that what we're gonna get from the Tawny Newsome show? Because I feel like these are like
Listen.
pieces of like that. They didn't give us a lot of information, but we know it's a bunch of weirdos. They're on a vacation
resort.
planet.
Yeah, right,
They're on
yeah.
a resort, and they're all aliens or like ish. And I'm like, is that like just pieces of thing they're gluing together from season 5? I'm here for it.
Probably.
Yeah. Like a comedy
for it.
version of White Lotus. Like
Oh my god.
God, yes.
I did not. I don't love. Karen liked White Lotus. I did not like.
I
White Lotus.
love White Lotus.
It's good.
So good.
did you only
The
watch the first
gays-
season or did you watch the
Gays
second
are
season?
trying
too?
to kill me.
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
No, I only watched a couple episodes and it just
Watch
did
the
not
whole
do it
thing
for me.
first season.
Nah, I can, yeah.
And,
Yeah, go ahead.
obviously I love Chad the corn dog guy. Who doesn't love a corn dog guy?
Do you have another one waiting in the
I had
wings down
two
there?
already. I don't need another one.
Hold on, another corn dog.
Not Wolverine claws. Like,
Oh my god,
Yeah.
that's too many corn dogs. Although my kids would say it's not enough. The cast that they got for this Starbase 80, like the crew was incredible. Like they had Stephen Root, they had Nicole Byer, they had Oscar Montoya from Dropout. So like it's just they just got the best people, and it made me so happy. This base and this crew is just perfect, like perfect.
I love how we all just like love Nicole Byer because she's amazing. I know her like draft newser from why I said it earlier. Why can't I
Is
remember?
it
Nailed it.
Nailed it, yeah.
Because like
Nailed
my
it.
kids are obsessed with Nailed It.
with
So
Nailed
I've
It.
seen like every single episode of that show. And yeah, like the minute that she speaks, it's like that's Nicole Byer.
Yep.
It's like that's the only person that could have been. And yeah, oh man, I don't want to piggyback off of everything you guys just said. She just has such amazing freaking energy and the entire episode. And I love how like this is getting a little bit further into it, but when Mariner like starts really trashing it, she's just like, dude, this is my home. Like, you know, like we're all just trying to get by. We're all trying to get our second chance. Like she loves Starbase 80, and I want that same Starbase 80 energy. I loved having her in this episode.
These are weirdos, but they're my
They're my
weirdos.
weirdos. Yeah.
My weirdos.
Jim McMahon writes, when I saw the corn dogs come out like Wolverine's claws, I remember thinking, where the fuck did he keep those corn dogs?
You don't want to know.
You don't want to know. Let's talk
Somewhere
about
warm.
Somewhere very warm. This watch.
I know. I shoved his watch. Your father.
Oh,
Your father.
I want to know what the hell is going on.
And now, my young boy, I give this watch
This is your
to
legacy.
you.
I hate that. I hate that I knew immediately what you were talking about. Oh, Pulp Fiction, y'all.
Oh shit. So as the gang continue on, Mariner goes on about the curse until a curse actually breaks out on the station, affecting the whole entire Ritos crew, including Ruthy and Tendi. They start licking the floors, the walls. They later, like I said, moves on to Rutherford and Tendi. We meet the station's doctors, who we'll talk about in the Easter egg hunt a little later on, but he had like the Geordie virus from that one episode that used to scare the shit out of me as a kid. But Mariner gets more paranoid and then starts fighting Nox, who we find out is in a lorry. And she's like, how old are you? You're such a good fighter. She's like, I'm in my 30s. You're just a normal person. And then it's Nox who actually figures out that the curse is coming from the fucked up comm badges. Mm-hmm. And Mariner's like, oh shit, you're right. Thoughts on the 80s curse, the doctor, and the Nox comm badge revelation? Brittany.
I think the curse concept is just funny because the episode's set up in such an eerie, like, horror way. And, you know, when they have those episodes where people are like, all of a sudden, you know, like, Ransom's eating somebody. Oh, we got to solve this virus thing. It's interesting. But, I mean, they have those little, like, kind of glimpses into the fact that it is the comm badges because, like, everybody sparks. And then shortly after, they kind of start acting like zombies. But I do think it's really funny that Mariner straight up just thought this place is so terrible, like it has to be cursed. Like there is a curse that is now infecting like everybody from our ship because this is how bad this place is. And it's like, oh no, actually it's a very normal Starfleet problem, like happens in every other episode. So yeah, that's just, look, somebody didn't put on a mask this time, and that's what matters. Yeah. At least it wasn't a mask.
At least it wasn't a mask. Giraffe, speaking of the curse, people in the chat are letting us know that your figures actually look like they have the curse because of the lighting in your room. It's actually pretty great. Like Tendi is absolutely cursed. It's pretty awesome.
Their tongues are actually coming out.
Yeah, 100%. What do you think about all this?
I mean, can science explain the Q? Huh?
Yeah, probably.
I think, again, it's an hilarious episode, but Mariner went through shit. Like, she fell into a ditch in a Starbase. Like, and she's like, she's traumatized. Like, that girl is like, I mean, we've all been to places where you're like, no. Like, I don't know you. There are places I go and I'm like entering and I'm like,
oh, yeah. Like restaurants that you're like, I will never come back here again because it was cursed. Like the place smelled like pee. There was weird decor that didn't make sense, and you're just like, what was this? Is a fever dream.
You feel it. You're like, and I mean, I understand that. I'd be totally yeah, it's a curse. Let's fucking go. No, like, and it's also a very black thing to do. Like, I really respect this. Like, this is cursed. I don't want any part of this. Bye. When everybody's like, no, we're going to solve it. There's like a reason. Like, Mariner makes sense to me. Mm-hmm. Just go. Don't be the first one to die. Like, go. Leave.
That's like in college. In college, when I went over my girlfriend's apartment and her and her roommate had a Ouija board out. And I walked in, like, I immediately closed the door and went, nah, this is some white people. And I am and then her other roommate went to walk up and I said, no, they got a Ouija board up there. And she said, we got to get out of here. It's true.
Like the moment the guy went like and like fell to the ceiling, I was like, yeah, you need to go. You need to go. But
and the loud thud too.
But it also had the whoop before the thud.
Yeah, it's like they're like it's on me. I respect Mariner. I respect, you know, like science can explain a lot and most of it can explain that, but it makes me think of like the episode of Enterprise with the Vulcan zombie.
Oh yeah.
And they
for sure.
blow up the place. They're like, yeah,
like, fuck this.
Fuck them.
We're going.
Fuck up the whole thing. And I'm like, yes, like don't try to explain it. Just go. But
Giraffe, do you know how like we shit on Archer so much? It's like that one decision though was the right call. Like, no, we're not fucking around.
Nuke it from space.
Vulcan zombie? Like, absolutely not. Like, thank you, bye. Like, And I understand this. And I feel that alien movies, would be way shorter if everybody were like, no, and just go. It would be. So I respect Mariner in this. But then, Starfleet has to explain stuff. I understand we're in Star Trek, but yeah. I'm here
Look,
with
the
her
first
for
time an
kiss.
alien erupts out of somebody's stomach, I'm out.
Yeah,
I'm
like
out.
Ripley's like,
Why are we
no,
here?
just go.
No.
Why are we here? Just go.
Yeah.
Let's just go.
You
And
enter
if
the
I can't
thing,
escape, I'm going into cryosleep.
there's,
I will not
That
know
won't
what's gonna
save you,
happen to me. I know it
apparently.
won't. But I'm just saying, I'm out. I'm not going to be conscious for whatever happens.
Listen,
Damn.
I would airlock myself. I'd
It's just the easiest way.
It's true.
Oh man. Matt writes everyone is nuts tonight. Dude, we're on Starbase 80. Like what else
Chaos.
do you expect? Like
It's
Brittany's back,
gotta
we're
be
on
a fun
Starbase
episode.
80. What do you expect?
Yep.
I can't believe Jay's hair is getting so long. Yeah, that's right, bitches. I do have hair. It does exist.
I also have a ponytail that you can't
Yeah.
see. This is the Zoom background.
well, it's a very nice ponytail.
I grew it myself.
Eric, what'd you think about
I had
the
a
curse?
haircut too. Like,
It's
damn.
very nice.
Well, just like hair.
It's very Ortega's.
Yeah. Yeah. I should do that. Like the halfway down and then.
Yeah.
Yeah,
little-
you could pull it off.
I think so.
Yeah.
How can I add to that? I feel everything, especially what Draft said, where you just come up to something, you're like, no, fuck this. No,
Yeah.
nope, I'm out. That's a very Asian thing to do too. Like, why would I do this?
It's
no.
a self-preservation
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. We're like,
I'm not gonna try to know if there's really zombies or ghosts or whatever. I'm out. Like
Filipino
yeah,
people
you
are like,
wanna
we've
know.
been taken over enough times to know that this isn't our deal. We got to
When
get out
people
of here.
mention that their house has like haunted stuff, I'm like, I don't pretend to know whether there's ghosts or not, but also I'm not trying to find out. Like, why welcome that? Why talk about it?
My kids were watching a show about like haunted items. I was like, why? Why are you bringing this into my house? I know it's a TV show. I don't want to watch
Somebody was
this.
like, all the knives in my house flip up, and I'm just like, I am never coming over. I'm never coming over. I don't know what to tell you. I'm not coming over your house.
Meanwhile, though, Freeman's literally running towards like the giant mutant bat at the end of the episode. So
I live in a Levittown house that was made 50 years ago.
yeah,
That's
Like,
too long for me.
Nobody
Same.
else has died nobody has died in here yet.
But it's the ground underneath, my friend.
Yeah, right.
The ground underneath.
I know, but listen. Colonizers
We're
have
never
committed
finishing that
atrocities across
podcast.
this country.
never ever.
I am aware.
We're halfway through.
I will say that I love the Doctor. Like Dr. Horseberry is amazing, and he's played by Liam McIntyre from Spartacus. Like he was Spartacus, the second Spartacus, and he was so funny. Like, oh yeah, he's just British, and so I do think it was sort of convenient that he just hit one of the whales, and I was like, oh, okay, that's fine. I'm fine with that because sometimes you just gotta do that cowboy thing to
Hit a
solve.
whale with a
diplomacy.
fishnet.
I mean, it was glowing. All right.
Oh man. Let's talk about storming the Cerritos. Because Knox, the Doc, Chad, and I think someone else goes with them too, right? Oh, the Doc. Yeah, the Doc, Chad, and Mariner go to the Cerritos. Meanwhile, like Billups has been infected and keeps turning the damn self-destruct on. Which,
Keeps
by the
licking
way,
it.
listen, I'm gonna be one of those fans for a second, and I hate doing it, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Lower Decks does a really good job, even being a comedy, sticking with how things work in Star Trek. And we all know that's not how self-destructs work. And that took me out of it. It was like, you need like 3 people to activate the self-destruct. That's not how it works.
Not on the Cerritos.
Not on the Cerritos, apparently.
They
You just need to
actually
hit
Cerritos
one
didn't get
button.
that upgrade, baby.
They want these things to go.
Want to blow up.
They want them to board. They're like, on a mistake, maybe.
The fact that you
man.
can even access it with just your tongue. Cerritos quality. Cerritos.
I don't know if that's true though, because I feel like if that was the case, Shax would have blown up that ship to like not go into like fascist hands like a million times over.
Can we respect the fact that Star Trek has been doing a lot of activating random launch sequences with people smacking their head on console?
Yes.
Yes.
And I'm just
Yes.
like,
I like it.
okay.
Yeah.
You're like, these are all actually buttons. You gotta be careful where turbulence makes you smack your head.
Oh man. So they go to the Cerritos to isolate the issue with the whales, who are definitely infected with an anaphasic consciousness, which was basically Bev's ghost candle all over again. I think they're the same species. Mariner and Knox try to stop them, but end up getting infected too. But the Doc comes to the rescue, a little old-fashioned knock on the head with the fishnet. They capture the organism and bring it back to SB-80. It turns out it was just trying to solve an experiment and stick it to his boss, who's a total dick, and went a little bit too far. He apologized. He was very sorry for what he did. Or they were probably, yeah. Thoughts on the SB-80 climax and Mariner thanking them by, doing some repairs to the station, Brittany.
I like that they stayed to repair things because I was like, this could build a funny and fun relationship. And also, they realize that they're really understaffed there. They need the help because that place it's a mess. I do love that the alien sentience, whatever you want to call that glowing being, is just in a microwave, like a makeshift microwave. I'm like, this is great. So I get it. He was like, my bad. I spread across too many people. I kind of got a little wild there. Let's take it back in. Now we can talk face to face. I was like, classic mind flayer things. Yeah. You bit off more than you could chew. You spread a little too far. Yeah. Yep. I liked it.
Nice.
Spread too thin. Yeah.
Yep.
I love the fact that they just whack a whale. Sure. Why not? I mean, they're officers. They can get round kicked too. Why not? I was like, I loved when the whale got out of the pool and started "Bleh," and Marina goes, they don't usually do that. Or that's new. I don't remember what she said.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel it's easily solved by just keeping the right amount of idiocy among the throughout the episode, which I love that it doesn't make sense but makes sense and it's totally idiotic and here for it. The fact that it has a name and it just overworked like all of us and the boss is a dick. I'm like sure.
You're like, sure.
We all feel this.
Poor thing, yeah. I don't remember what was the rest of the question. Thinking about Clement, what?
Staying
Did you like it?
Repair. Did you like it? Did you like that they stayed and also, repaired some things?
The thing is that, I mean, Ransom and Captain Freeman has been doing a lot of repair already. And that cracked me up because they don't even clock what's going on until way after. But you'd think that Starfleet would send somebody for repair a little bit more often. Why is this Starbase there? That's what I need to know. Yeah. Why is it there?
Wasn't it because of that gang thing? Right? Didn't they?
They negotiated that deal where they got half the station.
From that
the knife gang.
Dumbass episode of TNG from forever ago, where it's basically the Battlefield episode of TOS, but made 90s. It's so, isn't it?
Is that the one where with the terrorists and they kidnap Bev and all that? No, that's not them. That's a different episode.
No, it's the one I think where there are two part of the society. There's the Gatherer and
oh yeah,
and they hate each other and they want to genocide each other or something. Isn't it that episode? I will not go and watch it again. I just remember it was not great.
Yeah, they tend to not be those episodes where one group just wants to genocide the other.
Yeah.
It's they're trying to make a point and it's
but it's too obvious where it's the point where they're undoing the point.
Or it's not the point you think you're making and you're still making a point, but now it's weird. So
anyway. The half black, half white people episode?
Yeah. I think it's let this be let this be our last battlefield. That episode. I think it's a TNG version of that. Anyway, yeah, I wonder why the station is there. And now, I'm a Starfleet history nerd. I want to know, was there something there? And that's why the Starbase existed. And now there's no point of it anymore. And it's these towns that were on the railroad, not on the railroad. And that slowly died, And I feel that's what happened in Starbase 80. They should just get all the personnel somewhere else. But somehow this place just keep existing.
We need a spin-off prequel series. Okay, Lower Decks. How did Starbase 80 happen? We get all these amazing stories, and then eventually something happens where it's and then they ended up like that.
And it's giving it with Babylon 5 a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
A little scratch.
Yeah.
But so they're gonna repair, and then what? Nobody's gonna come for like 200 years again. Like,
I hope not. I hope they kind of be like, yo, Starfleet, Starbase 80 is in need, yo. Like, can we get them some help?
I'm pretty sure Starfleet knows, and they just don't care.
Or the Cerritos occasionally pops by and helps out.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Pit stop.
Yeah.
On their way to DS6.
6.
Wait, is
400
the reason they have DS6 and DS9 just like a loose way of them making a 69 joke?
More than likely.
yeah,
Probably.
I believe in them. I believe in them.
Nice. Eric.
I already talked about the whale thing, but I love that Chad sacrificed himself with the corn dogs. Like, that's totally a Chad thing.
It's all about Chad. He's a Giga Chad.
That was his epic, and you know that I loved when they all caught off him. He's like, "Yeah, Chad." I like that they ended up going back and fixing the station because there's sort of like this. They realize that there's sort of this parallel between the Cerritos and Starbase 80. Like, they're both like the shitty thing that no one
Scrappy
really.
underdogs.
Yeah, but no one cares about them, right? So
And Knox goes, woof, 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 woof. It was so ridiculous.
oh my
God.
but yeah, I like that they realize that they got to help each other because they're both the underdog. Woof woof. That was for you, Julian.
Thank you.
And yeah, I don't know. I lost my thought after the woof woof woof.
The woof, woof.
Yeah.
The woof woof's really all that matters. There was a good comment in the chat. Oh yeah, because Gene was echoing a little bit of Brittany here. Chad lives to dog another day. That was a good one. Good job, Gene.
Every dog has its day.
the
Indeed.
chat is about that episode of TNG that I don't even know the name of.
Yeah, they knew it.
The Vengeance Factor. Wow.
I'm gonna watch it after the pod.
I remember it was like, I remember vaguely that episode.
Late night
a
watch
bone.
along in the Discord after the pod.
So we need the Starbase 80 spin-off show so that we can see the Cerritos crew come back ever so often. That's why we need the spin-off.
Yeah.
So Discovery gets the Academy and Lower Decks gets Starbase 80. I
That
think
tracks
it's
though, right?
It tracks.
Yeah.
It's what we deserve.
Yeah.
We've earned this as fans. If we didn't get 7 seasons, we need at least 2 Starbase 80 seasons. Damn it.
In the outline, I put the guy's name as Jack Lebowski, which was not right. I think it was like Jed Jabowski. I think
It's
was the edge.
Gene Jakubowski. Yeah.
That's the one. He's a hell of a
Gene
guy,
Jakubowski.
apparently.
Jean jacket? What?
Gene
I'm having note flashbacks.
Jakubowski.
Jakubowski. There it is. Thank you, Jim. And Giraffe. We're going to the B plot here. Captain Freeman is sent on a wild goose chase. There's probably some geese on Starbase 80. Looking for definitely Chief Engineer Gene Jakubowski. Hell of a guy. But he sends him to the maintenance labyrinth first, where he shows up again. He's like got his head in an air filter or some shit. And they're starting to get confused. They're like, oh, no, Jakubowski's in the arcade. So they go up to the arcade, and the dudes from that episode are like, here's some tokens on us. I kind of loved that moment a lot. And then they find Jakubowski again, and he's just dicking around with them. He's the chief engineer. He's like, I just really wanted you guys to fix my station because Starfleet doesn't answer our hails, and you're going to do it whether you like it or not. And Jack has that moment, too, where he's like, oh, Starfleet, line of Starfleet, that's not cool. I'm like, yeah, but at some point you got to do what you got to do to survive, right? I thought it was fair play. So yeah, understandable. What do we think about Gene Jakubowski and the B plot here, Brittany?
Well, John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt, or whatever his name is, like he's a one-man army and he needs backup. And I do think it's bullshit that Starfleet didn't send anybody to help them out, because Starbase 80 could be better. But, it makes just for good, funny television. So
Yeah.
I think it's really funny when somebody is leading you on a wild goose chase just to be like, oh, yeah, I am the person you're looking for. I am the manager. But I need you to help me out. So I thought that was adorable. I mean, dude, his head getting stuck in there, and then they pulled out. And it's just bats, just so many bats, and you're like, why the fuck are there bats in here? Like nothing about Starbase 80, like is what it should be. Like every time you think you're gonna see something around the corner, it's like, nope. Oh, they're selling T-shirts. Okay, they're gonna say like Starbase 80 on them. No, they have holes in them because they're from the people that have already died. And you're
it's like why are there Minox in like the worm alien on the asteroid at Empire Strikes Back, right? You just kind of accept it as like weird.
Well, we have parasites inside of us sometimes.
Yeah, why not?
I mean, I keep myself pretty clear.
You don't live in an asteroid.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant like a collective we here.
No,
and I was like, bro, I was like, you got worms, bro. We can talk after the pod.
Doctors are for that reason.
I've been places. I got parasites.
I know,
it happens to the best of us.
Yeah,
it's
it does.
fine.
You poop most of them out,
True.
but not always.
I mean, who knows
that.
if they even have
See,
sonic toilets on SB80? You know, like things happen.
Maybe not.
Yep.
Maybe not. I derailed that.
Asteroids do not interest me, Eric.
No.
Oh shit. Sorry, Britt, we went off there. Do you have anything else on Jack and Pepsi?
I can't really follow up like butt parasites or whatever we're just talking about. So, like we just gotta keep it rolling.
Yes, giraffe.
I knew I was gonna like that guy when he was sleeping with the alarm blaring.
A little bit of drool coming out of his mouth.
I know people like this. Like I've
All of
been
us.
places. I've been like, when you go to these places and you're like, how is all of you still alive?
Yeah. And you're like, this one guy, this motherfucker. Right?
I got in trouble in university because of that. I slept through a fire alarm, and the fireman. I woke up, I opened my door, and there was a fireman there. I was like, oh, shit.
I remember going on an excavation. Was it in Turkey or in Greece? I don't remember. And the excavator were here, like because they were opening the excavation, so they needed like to get rid of like ground, before we actually do real excavation. And the guy, I swear, was doing like, when you take your bike and you like lift the front wheel.
Wheelies?
What do you call this?
Yeah.
Wheelies in a cat.
Like a cat, like a cat.
An excavator cat.
Yeah. I've seen that.
And I was
behavior.
like, and I remember being like 25 and looking at this and we're like,
you're like, how are you
somebody's
still
going to end
alive?
up in the hospital and there's no hospital on this island. So it's going to be fun. And I felt that like that guy, like, I was like, yeah, I've been to places like this. And like these chief engineers, like they can do everything, right? You just need like, it's a very Scotty character. You just need to give him like a piece of duct tape and a screwdriver, and he's gonna fix that whole place.
Gonna
But
MacGyver
he needs
it,
that screwdriver. He needs that.
He needs the duct tape,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, and like sleeping through the alarm in like that beautiful TOS engineering station was like.
Chef's kiss. Yeah. Dana writes, I sang Closing Time with my friends during a fire alarm in the middle of winter. Yes.
Nice.
Good song.
That's a
Eric,
perfect song to sing during.
it is.
As soon as I heard Stephen Root speaking as Jakubowski, I was like, yes, this is the perfect person for this. And of course, that he's the one controlling the turbo lifts and everything for them, which I thought was hilarious. I loved it. I loved it so much. Like, why not take advantage of this new, like way newer spaceship that, has the equipment, right? They can do it. So why not just take advantage of them while they're there?
Their main computer is an Alexa, though, so I don't.
Yeah, right. Alexa, self-destruct.
You just have to lick
Oh
that
my
Alexa.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, God.
Consent
so-
is key, even with computers. Especially with computers.
Oh my God. The episode ends weird, like almost on a plot twist. Like we're definitely not going back to SB80 next week, but it ends like we could theoretically, right?
I hope we do.
Because, right? You never know. Freeman decides to stay even after everything is fixed to clean out the goddamn bats on the base, even the big one, trying to put away this ghost, right? There it is, of her alternate self from the tear in subspace. What do we think about, Carol's micro journey here and, kind of facing this small demon that she feels like she has to? Britt.
I don't really know.
Yeah.
Like, I'm genuinely thinking,
I was like, oh, she's gonna drop something really deep.
I didn't know. I took a deep breath. It's just like,
I do that when I don't remember the question.
like.
Okay.
I don't know. Like, I liked the B plot, but I don't know. This episode was more about like Mariner's journey
Yeah.
in Starbase
Yeah.
80 than I felt like it was Freeman's. Even though I understand that her alternate was also like sentenced here, but I still feel like it didn't affect her the same way that it's like because Mariner has actually lived this in like this reality.
Yeah. Yeah.
So for
that's
me, it was
fair.
just kind of like, oh, it's just another aspect.
Yeah.
Of it. It was like when Freeman was on trial, and that was really like horrible. And then they're like, oh, just kidding. Like we've
Yeah,
been doing it wrong.
we talked
like
about
this
that
is
a few
another
weeks
scenario
ago,
where it's
yeah.
like she's been to Starbase 80, but like we haven't even seen any of that.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Fair.
I have no opinion.
Matt writes, I feel like Peanut Hamper would be fit well on Starbase 80. I don't need to see Peanut Hamper again.
No,
Peanut
you know
Hamper-
They're
what?
reformed now.
No.
Is locked away.
No.
Yeah, they're with their family now. Let Peanut Hamper be. Draft, what'd you think
Let her
about
rest.
Freeman facing her demons and fighting the bats?
I like how like she get self-obsessed and it's not even her. It's like a parallel universe person.
It's on point with her, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, nobody is like obsessing about how Becky became such a crazy person, but she's obsessing about why she was not here. And that tells you everything you need to know about Captain Freeman.
Yeah.
Also, like, it's not a penal colony, it's just a starbase.
Yeah, it's
they don't
just
even
a-
like
A stepping
yeah.
point. That's why I'm saying like I don't know how to feel about it because I feel like I get
mean,
Mariner being like demoted and sent there, but then it's like, did Freeman do something so bad that?
And she doesn't even know what she did, so like what's the big deal? It's not
Well,
you, yeah.
They already know that also Becky Freeman, sorry, is kind of insane. So like I'm pretty sure it was reversed. Like, but Captain Freeman did a lot of like shitty stuff, to be honest. She was just lucky so far.
A little shady. A little
A little
shady.
shady there and there, you know.
I wonder if that
I support women's wrongs.
I wonder if that
Exactly.
trial went badly and she got sentenced there.
What was gonna say, like,
Oh,
Alternate reality version.
yeah, she got, or again, like that. What I was saying when we did the first episode is that in the Prime universe, everybody thought Mariner lied and was the one that ditched the Cerritos, and that it was because of her that there was like bad press and so on. But maybe they just actually blamed Carol Freeman for the situation because Mariner was the only one being, you know, honest in that universe, but maybe Becky was not and didn't say anything. And then it was blamed on Carol Freeman and she was demoted and sent to Starbase 80 for all the thing that the crew was saying. So I it's interesting to me that she can't figure it out.
yeah.
That she did enough fucked up stuff here and there. But she did great stuff too, which, you know, equals to keep being a captain on the California class, I suppose. But she's obsessed about this and she wants to win Starbase 80 like it's a video game.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
not
that's a
even-
great point.
Yeah, she needs to kill the big boss at the end, the big
Yeah.
bat, you know?
Or to
and
get
then
those
be
brownie
like,
points to earn back being like good.
yeah, and like, I'm better than my alternate self. The alternate self doesn't even know this is happening. Like, what are you doing? But
I
yeah,
need her and
suppose-
Cisco to meet. I just need
I'm
like,
sure they have.
I know,
must
but I
have.
mean like I
Yeah.
need to see it.
Yeah, yeah.
Because Cisco's like, sometimes you gotta kill a man. You know what I mean? Like it's just like Cisco would be
Freeman
like,
is like, sometime you have to kill a bat.
exactly. I don't know.
Yeah, it's funny because I feel like Freeman is so close to. They're all so close to be like classic Star Trek and Starfleet, you know,
Mhm.
like
You're the
heroes.
highbrow captain.
But they're very like us and obsessing about random shit that makes them be kind of shitty humans, but good people, but kind of like us. You know what I mean? Like flawed. And yeah, here Freeman is definitely flawed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
You gotta
Yep.
be.
Yeah.
You gotta be.
Eric,
I don't have anything to add.
that's
I
totally
mean,
fine.
I mean, I'm more surprised. Like, I am surprised that she's so obsessed with Starbase 80 and not why she got to Starbase 80. Like, I feel like that would be the thing to obsess about. I think, yeah. That's basically. I'm just reiterating what Draft just said. That's
Yeah.
all.
Okay. That's what I agree on too. That's why I was like, I feel like I don't have anything to say.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
Because we all want to know like why, why and
Yeah.
how. But I guess
Yeah.
it's not important.
I'm just here for Jack going up the stairs and be like, oh, good old classic cardio.
You don't see
That's
much
what
of
I like
these.
to do now.
So good.
Face.
Oh, man.
Captain, my glutes.
You feel that? Oh,
that.
The power of stairs.
So excited. 10 flights.
and
the way
flights.
back
and,
to the
and
arcade.
oh, I got some gel for you. Oh, yeah. The gel. Let's give final thoughts on this one. We will go in reverse order. Eric, what'd you think about Starbase 80?
I love this episode. It's one of my favorite episodes of this season. Is it my favorite one? I think it might be my favorite one. I just love the chaos of it. I love Nicole Byer. I love Stephen Root. I like it. It was just, this is what I want to see. If they do a spinoff of Lower Decks, I want to see them. So 10 out of 10. No issues with this.
Nice. Giraffe.
I think it was perfectly idiotic, like episode 3. I'm here for it. This was so funny. I'm just a bit sad that we're not furthering the plot of the season. And
Yeah,
that we
not at
don't
all.
get a hint about what the hell is going on with the alternate ships and so on.
Yeah.
Because there's 5 episodes left, so there's gonna be or a lot packed in, or it's gonna be like 2 big last episode just about this.
It's going to be Crisis Point,
Oh my god, I need
Double
I need
feature
Vindicta to
ending.
be-
Crisis Point multiverse. Like,
Like it is the last season, and I'm glad that they still do like these. Like, I mean, it's not really a bottle episode, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
They're kind of tackling. Sorry, I'm going a bit long, but I like the fact that they're really going into explaining a lot of Mariner's backstory. The Jennifer thing, the Starbase 80 thing. I like that they're clearing all this up, but also I would like the main plot too.
Yeah.
Honestly, I forgot that there was a main plot.
what if the
This
main
season.
plot is just the main character's growth?
I mean, it could
What
be.
if Lower Decks is just the ensigns we made along the way?
No, they're teasing me with parallel universe.
I know they're parallel. They're really
No,
cool.
I don't
you
care
had a
about
ship that was the
friendship.
size of an amoeba. I
I
gotta
don't
know.
care about like a month of hell.
Yeah, a month of hell.
So
Oh.
yeah, that very good episode, very good, very funny.
Britt.
Well, the actor in me is fine with the character studies. Like, give me an episode just explaining why the fuck Jack Ransom is the way he is.
I'd watch every
Overall,
minute of that.
yeah, I would watch. Listen, I would watch the show forever. It could go on for like longer than The Simpsons. I would keep watching.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it should, but you know, we don't have the money to make it happen. We're not the shills.
But the internet
episodes-
told us we're the
internet-
shills.
Remember when it was like our first episode of the show, and I'm like, "There's no way we're even remotely making money."
You're all
on this. They're
shills.
like, "You're shills," and I'm like, "The show hasn't even come out yet."
Which is really funny, Britt, because we after 4 long years, we finally
know, you
joined
finally
the Paramount
did.
affiliate program,
I know.
and we
You were
haven't
like-
made a fucking dime.
You're like,
No
we
money.
are shills now.
No money.
But you know, because like it's Paramount money, so zero money.
Yeah,
shared
it makes-
between among people is still zero
You see,
money.
our affiliation just gets merged into something else.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, it's fandom. We do it for the love, not for the money.
Exactly.
Because we're rolling in it. You know what? It's a 10 out of 10. The show is always good. It's so funny. It's what I needed right now to like laugh. And I went back and I like binged a lot because I realized I like missed 2 seasons. So that was a lot of fun to catch up on the last like 2 days. I was just like,
I can't even imagine watching all of season 4.
oh my God. Yeah.
that
I watched
season.
it. I was like,
Season 4 is our favorite season of Lower Decks. It's like,
really
Green
good. Well, they
Eyes.
also, because now you have Talin, right?
yeah.
Oh,
So
I wish she
good.
was in
I
this
love-
episode. That was my big issue.
Oh yeah, I wish I was gonna say that too, because like they've had a few episodes where like one of them's off, like you know how like Boimler was off on that one like vacation whatever episode. I think the previous episode. I think it would have been really fun if she was here, but I get it.
They cannot pay all that guest cast.
I know,
And-
I know, I get it.
all the recurring cast at the same time.
Especially when you have Fred Tatasciore, who's also like such a pro voice actor that like they always bring him in because he's got like the toolkit where he could be like any backup character, so he can do like 8 of the other voices of like any other random people.
Did you notice that he was the
You're
token
like,
guy? And I was just like, oh my God, it's Fred.
It's always Fred. He's so good that like if you have an animated episode and you already have Fred as the main cast, you can be like, we have all these background characters we got to fill, and be like, well, Fred at max can do 3 others, and then we won't have to pay someone else. We can just play Fred.
I just literally watched an episode of Arcane before the pod, and there he is, Fred Tatasciore at the
Fred
credits.
is
like
everywhere.
He's
any
everywhere.
animation,
and we let him,
he's
and
in
he
it.
deserves
Yep.
it. He deserves it. But me and Eric are like, please give us a minor role.
Give us a background role.
I will be person who yells grenade. Yeah, 10 out of 10. It was great. It was so silly. I love that it was like the horror stuff. I don't know. Nothing can make me not love the show. And I'm going to keep watching and keep loving it. And then when it ends, I'm going to binge it all again, baby.
Yeah, let's
Starbase
go.
80 can't go wrong. Boo, boo, boo.
Needless to say, these past 2 episodes have been my favorite episode of the season. I will give the edge. Like, let's face it. Recording this episode, hella fun. I still edge out last week's episode, Farewell to Farms, as my favorite episode of the season so far. That episode is just really special to me. But this episode fucking rocks. We've been talking about Starbase 80 for 4 seasons. Finally went there. I feel like I want to compare Starbase 80's famous chunky sauce to like Cleveland or Cincinnati chili. I feel like it's got to be something like that. And I bet it's
gotta be like their
delicious.
staple.
Yeah, and I
Is
really
that a
want to
thing?
try it.
People know
Yeah.
for?
Cincinnati is known for their chili. It's really good, but it
I
looks
wanted
like
somebody to dip a corn dog in the sauce.
yeah,
Show me
right.
the
No
sauce.
one did.
Where's the sauce?
Yeah. And then the
I
last
had
thing I want to
2
say
corn dogs in my whole life.
I had 2 corn dogs today.
tonight. The
Delicious.
I've only ever had Korean corn dogs.
Those are delicious.
Not gonna lie.
the last thing I want to say.
Oh, look it up.
It's good.
Look it
I
up.
love Korean corn
They're
dogs. Oh
amazing.
my God.
Like they dip them in like
my
cheese.
Korean, what
They got-
worries?
The potatoes on all over.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so good.
The last thing I want to say is that Boehm's growing beard finally hit the point where if you look at it very closely, it actually mirrors what it looked like in the hologram mirror episode. It's got that little chunk now. I feel like that
It
was
does look
maybe a little bit on
Mirrorverse-like.
purpose. Yeah. This episode was great. Let's do a very quick Easter egg hunt because this episode is full of them. I
God.
got texts from both my one of my best friends, Simon, who's Beef Lamaine in the chat. He was on the pod last week. And Ashlyn from the Duras sisters, both like endlessly texting me this morning with everything that was in the shop full of dead men's uniforms.
Yeah. There's a lot going on there.
But if anybody else has Easter eggs before I go through all those,
I didn't even
I
write them
didn't even
down.
have time to pause. Like I was
There's
just
the
like,
There's so many.
Akamarians.
sorry,
The Akamarians.
The Akamar- yeah.
Yeah, that was like a weird choice.
the music at the very beginning when after the credits when they show Starbase 80 is the music from when you see Regular One when the Enterprise gets to it in the Wrath of Khan. This episode was actually very Wrath of Khan heavy.
it was very Connie.
Yeah. Also in that moment is they decide to do a little DS9 throwback with the shuttle coming over the screen, like the runabout in the intro. In the shop, you have uniforms from the original series, Strange New Worlds, Discovery. You have the Wrath of Khan jackets, Khan's broken pendant, and wrist communicator are there as well. Apparently, there's a Vulcan like
Where all
chef
the trash
or
goes.
clown hat there on the bottom as well. The motion picture and Wrath of Khan security guard helmets. Old communicators. There's something from the Kelvinverse apparently. And Geordi's visor is underneath what's his name's from What Little Girls Are Made Of from TOS. His jacket, the big tall bald dude who works for
Lurch? No, it's
Yeah,
not
Lurch.
Lurch, but you know Lurch.
yeah, Lurch.
My brain's blanking.
That guy.
Yeah, his jacket's there and Geordi's visor is under it. I mean, like this is chock full of Easter eggs. The bridge looks like a TOS
TOS.
movie era bridge. Ruck from What Little Girls Are Made Of. His jacket is in there.
Rock around and find out.
Rock around and find out.
The reactor in the engineering room looked like the warp core from Enterprise, but vertical.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. There was literally just a pile of red shirts behind the store owner.
Yeah. They didn't even bother selling them. Just
No. Some old school phasers, communicators. Yeah, it's just everything. The show did a great job of Easter egging itself when they say when Boim's like, yeah, we can go to Starbase 80, and the guy in the back goes, oh damn, Starbase 80, all the way back from I think season 1 or 2. So tons of Easter eggs in this episode. It was a blast. Let's get to the subspace to pull and mailbag.
Warp me.
I need.
It's different now. I was going to go. Hailing frequencies are open.
Yeah.
Oh my God! I haven't been here in so long.
I need someone to go on Threads and see where the poll is at. If somebody could help me out.
Ready or not, here we come. I just said that. I'm not actually ready.
No rush at all. Ding 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 ding. Anybody? I could do it. I can find it. Hold on. Here we go. Oh, nope. Maybe not. I will do it. Threads. Here we go. Okay. Over on Threads, we asked Threadfleet. I'm going to make that stick, I swear. What they thought about Star Trek Lower Decks episode 505, Starbase 80, and 90% of you said 5-star corn dogs.
It's 91% now because I voted.
91% 5-star corn dogs. 0% said all the arcade tokens. 10% said stuck in the labyrinth, and 0%, thank you for not wasting your vote, said bad case of the 80. So good.
Can I make a suggestion?
Yes.
You should call it thread shirts, like red shirts.
I like it.
Feel free to use it.
I like it.
You do not have to say I helped.
I will say you helped. I like that. That was very good. I did the poll, so we'll just go back in the normal order. Britt, can you take NY Rowlight's mailbag, please?
NY Rowlight. Been a while. They wrote, if only Ronan had been as chill as Clem, but I'd still keep candles away from anaphasic entities. I'm not surprised Ransom loved rubbing the decon gel all over his body, and I love the subversion of expectations at Starbase 80. Definitely one of my favorite episodes of the season.
Nice.
I agree.
Yeah, same. Draft, can you take Simon's, please?
Simon wrote, this episode had everything you want to see in a Starbase episode. A neon-plagued promenade with interesting stuff being sold in shops. Julian had to deal with me identifying nearly everything in the second-hand shop all morning.
That's very true.
Street gangs, weird, disgustingly alien food like corn dogs. But it had me at two very Starbase-y things. A musical incidental when looking at another old little Starbase like regular one. Incidental was for the Wrath of Khan, where when everyone was entering the Mutara Nebula, nice and spooky. And then also you get the shuttle flyby wipe a la DS9 opening. Another fun one chock full of little references for us to dig into with, interestingly, not much Boimler growth compared to the previous eps, but rather one for Mariner. Does this end in a cliffhanger? We pick up on what? In a cliffhanger we pick up on in the next one? Or was that just a fun way to leave the captain in a ridiculous situation? That was very hard to read.
Yeah, it was.
Simon.
Give her the longest one.
Raph fighting for her life.
I read the words, but I did not understand anything. I'm gonna have to reread.
The French kicked in.
I was like, go through it, read the words one after the other. Stop at punctuation. You will understand after. What? Starbase thing? Incidental? Like, what? Chock full? It was very...
Chock full of nuts. You know, like the coffee? No?
Yeah, it was...
It was a lot.
Twice
Simon.
the word incidental.
True.
So it wasn't incidental after all.
Get off my
You got it. You know what he was saying.
Eric, you take Troubles, please.
Trouble Road. It's official. Starbase 80 is the poor man's DS9. That place was honestly kind of awesome for being cursed. Although I wouldn't trust the Triple X Club unless I was wearing Spock's Volcano EV suit from Into Darkness, the captain trying to outbest her alternate universe counterpart was hilarious, and Jack's excitement about stairs and Joe were pretty silly too. Wonder if he brought any of it back to the Cerritos to keep his churro girlfriend moist.
Definitely did.
Hate everything about that last sentence. I loathe that last sentence, but I love it.
I started laughing as I saw ahead of it. I was like, God damn it. Don't break
You know that bag is
35
nice
hot
and warm
churros
right
in an
now.
unmarked bag.
Oh my god.
Thank you.
I'll take us home with JMC Trex, who wrote, loved all the callbacks to Enterprise in this episode. Starbase 80, the base, definitely has a nostalgic feel to it that was off the chart. The episode as a whole was hilarious. I love the zombie takeover really is an anaphasic alien trying to communicate plotline. There wasn't even like one reference to the Bev candle. I'm a little bit disappointed. I'm not going to lie. That's going to do it for this one. This was a blast. Britt, before we go, plug away. Where can people find you? What are you up to? And all that jazz.
First, I want to say, Mom, it's not anaphase. That's my last joke of the night. If you guys want to follow me on all things, all social medias, except for that place that we're not going to talk about anymore, I'm at Vocal Tomes on all social medias. Follow me for punny stuff. I don't know, little updates about my voice acting and other things that I do, nerdy things. And yeah, just stay tuned. I don't really know what to. I did an animation reel recently for Courtney Taylor.
That's awesome.
Voice actor in a lot
really
of
well
animated.
done.
Thank you. A lot of animation in video games. A great friend of mine. So if you want to check that out, I have it pinned usually to the top of whatever social media you're at. So check it out. I get people footage. So if you're a voice actor or actor who needs footage, hit me up. I'll help you out while everybody's on strike.
Hey, there you go. That's awesome.
I know how to pitch myself.
You did good. And we're going to have you back for the finale, more than likely, right? You got to check your schedule, but that I think is happening.
It's possible.
Which
There's like
is,
a 70% chance.
Yeah. So stay tuned for that. It has been a pleasure having you back. It was like old times. It was so much fun. We'll always have Starbase 80. We'll always have SP80. We will see you on Monday night for our Generations 30-year retrospective, if you want to call it that. Eric's like, nope, not touching that with a 10-foot Starbase 80 pole. For Giraffe, for Eric, for Brittany, I am Julian. Live long and prosper. Majram, Sarcastic Vulcan, salute. Good night.
Thanks for beaming into our podcast today. If you want to keep the hailing frequencies open, you can subscribe on Apple and Google Podcasts, YouTube, and Spotify. Like what you hear? Put in a good word with Starfleet and leave us a 5-star review.